France has entered a third day of mourning after a string of suicide bombings and shootings targeted restaurants, a concert hall, and the National Soccer Stadium Friday night. The simultaneous attacks killed 129 people and injured hundreds more. It was the deadliest attack on French soil since World War II. The worst carnage was unleashed as 3 gunmen killed at least 89 people at a rock concert at the Bataclan Theater before detonating explosive belts. In retaliation, France launched its heaviest airstrikes yet against the Syrian city of Raqqa, which has long served as the de facto capital of the so-called Islamic State. Friday's attacks in Paris came just a day after the Islamic State claimed credit for a double attack in southern Beirut that killed at least 43 people, and 2 weeks after the group claimed responsibility for bringing down a Russian airliner over the Sinai Peninsula, killing all 224 people on board. Over the weekend, French President François Hollande described Friday's attack as an act of war.
Mes chers compatriotes,
Fellow citizens, what happened yesterday in Paris and Saint-Denis, near the Stade de France, was an act of war. Faced with war, the country has to take appropriate steps. It's an act of war committed by a terrorist army, Daesh, an Islamist army, against France, against the values we uphold throughout the world, against who we are, a free country which speaks to the whole planet.
Speaking in Turkey at the G20 summit, President Obama described the events in Paris as an attack on the civilized world.
As was true with the terrible attacks that took place in Ankara, the killing of innocent people based on a twisted ideology is an attack not just on France, not just on Turkey, but it's an attack on the civilized world.
Authorities said they believe the Paris attacks were carried out by 8 assailants working in 3 teams. 7 of the men died in the attacks. A massive manhunt is underway for the 8th, Salah Abdeslam, a Belgian-born French national. 2 of his brothers were said to have died in the attack. Several of the attackers were French nationals. Authorities also said one of the suicide bombers who blew himself up outside the National Stadium was carrying a Syrian passport, and his fingerprints matched someone who passed through Greece in October. Overnight, French authorities carried out 168 raids, making 23 arrests as part of the investigation. Police in the Belgian city of Mourning also carried out a series of raids this morning. Friday's attack came just 10 months after 2 brothers, Saïd Cherif Kouachi, attacked the French satirical weekly newspaper Charlie Hebdo in Paris. Armed with assault rifles and other weapons, they killed 11 people and injured 11 others in the building. Thousands of Parisians have been gathering to mourn in the Place de la République, despite a ban on demonstrations and public gatherings until November 19th. Democracy Now! Producer Sam Alcoff spoke to people in the square on Saturday.
Je m'appelle Alvin, nous sommes à Paris.
My name is Alvin. We are in Paris, Place de la République. In fact, we are here to be united against what is happening, simply a massacre. What happened is unspeakable. It's what happened in Syria, in the Middle East, Near East, Israel. It happened under our own balcony. We didn't see it coming. We are here in homage. Simply that. We are Parisians.
My name is Mathilde Journy. I heard it by the radio. Tout le monde s'est réuni pour déposer des fleurs.
We came together to leave flowers, bouquets, messages to honor the victims and their families, to support them.
I was on a restaurant, like people were killed. I was taking drink with friends on the street because it was weather fine, and I can believe it. I think it was just someone, a mad people. But after, when I knew that there are many attacks, I think about terrorists.
I was well into the match with my dad. We were watching the France-Germany football match. They told us on TV. The news announced the first shots in the cafe. It was just that in the beginning.
sur un café. Bon, c'était juste ça au départ.
Many people are shocked. France is already exhausted by January, the January event, Charlie Hebdo. I think it's a little bit too much.
Yo pienso que son enfants de la República.
I think they are children of the Republic. They were badly educated at some moment in their lives, and they went off the right track. And after, in France, they had enough. Ras-bol, as they say in French, ras-kill, understand? And this is why they took up arms.
Tonight I was near the quarter where attacks had been made, and it could be anyone. I'm here because so much people die by barbarian attack, and I want to think to these people, and I want to think with other Parisians, not alone on my flat. And I want to say I'm not afraid. That's all.
Mais c'est très difficile. Je suis d'origine algérienne.
It's very difficult. I am of Algerian origin. I lived through the 90s in Algeria, and I will tell you, it's very complicated.
Je vais vous dire, c'est très très compliqué.
Ils vont avoir peur.
And they will be scared. They will not want to leave their homes. They will ask themselves questions that one should not ask oneself.
Je ne perds pas espoir dans le peuple français.
I do not lose hope in the French people. We proved January 15, 2015, that we could be united. We will again show that we are very strong here in France.
When you walk the streets outside in Paris, this is where you really see what people think. In the face of these events, they are not split, they are together, because they know the real truth. I want to say there is no problem.
Unity, no, it's for 1 day or 2 days, no longer. It's, I think unity is a good word, but France will never be united, never. It's a gold mine for Le Pen. It's a gold mine because I think, as far as I know, one of the terrorists was a Syrian, so he wasn't French. So for Le Pen, it's a good thing. She can work on this, close the borders and stuff. So I think Le Pen will be more powerful after this.
I am not sure that this will give more voice to Le Pen than before. For me, Le Pen does not have all the solutions to the real problems of France. Also, they can have influence in little towns, villages, on old people, not the new generation that grew up together.
Daesh is just a little movement. I think USA, Great Britain, France, and all these great countries can cut. Refugees are not responsible of Daesh and other terrorist attacks.
Me, personally, it doesn't bother me. They can all come, as many as they want. The door is open. There's room. There's lots of room. They should come.
Yes, Europe will surely retreat concerning refugees. They will be the first victims of these attacks. The refugees will pay first. Second will be the Muslims. Third will be, of course, everyone of Muslim or perhaps Muslim descent from the Maghreb, Middle Eastern, will be the target of the politicians, of the public regard, unfortunately. But the refugees will be the first victims, that is sure.
Voices of Parisians gathering to mourn at the Place de la République on Saturday night. Special thanks to Democracy Now!'s Sam Alcoff and Anna Gold, both in Paris. When we come back, we go directly to Paris. Stay with us.